What if I were to tell you the secret to getting rich had nothing to do with work? That's right, work. How do I know this? Well, I'm going to teach you this in this video from my firsthand example of what I went through during college and dental school, the path that I was on, which is probably the path that you're on, and the shift that I've taken to begin generating real wealth for my family. That's exactly what we're going to teach you today in this video. If you're new here, I'm Dr. Jeff Anzalone, a periodontist that's just simply on a mission to get you out of the rat race. I've got a free passive income guide for you. Got the link below this video. Let's get into it. So I wanted to kind of teach you or take you back where I started, and this is probably where you were. So you've got somebody. Again, this is probably where you were. You go to school, maybe you go to college, maybe you go to some sort of like a professional school, like medical school, dental school, law school, something that takes you more time, and it's actually going to put you what in more debt. So more than likely you've probably went to school, you've acquired some debt, but you've more importantly you've put in time, which you can't get back, as we know that. So I got out of dental school and a residency to become a periodontist with $300,000 in debt. At the time, I was 30 years old. All right. Now, I took a look at what everybody else in my area, all the other dentists, physicians, attorneys, whatever, those type of people, what do? Well, they work until they're 70, 80 years old or whatever. So I think, okay, well then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over here. Let's just say I was going to work. This was my path. I wanted to work for 40 years. All right. So here's the 40-year path. Now, there's nothing wrong with this. Okay. There's nothing wrong with this at all. It's just, I want to give you another option that I found that has completely changed my life, free time, wealth, all kinds of different things, happiness, whatever. So if this is what you've been told, then this video is exactly for you. I understand that you've probably put in a lot of time and effort and money into where you are today. That's fine. And if you want to continue that path, that's fine as well. If you're happy where you are, that's great. Okay, but I'm going to give you a different option. So if you've listened to any of my videos or read some of my blogs at debtfreedoctor.com, hence the sign, when I was 40, my kids were 8 and 6. We went snow skiing. I had an accident. I fell, I injured on my arm. Now, as you can imagine, as a periodontist, it's hard to work without your arms. And that was the moment that I started to basically, we're going to say, we're going to label this right here the quote, old Jeff. Okay. So the old Jeff had been taught this was the path to wealth. Okay. That the only way you could build wealth was to wait, put in money into the stock market, compound interest. Okay. Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman, Warren Buffett, all of these people back when I was training, learning about all this stuff, this is what they were teaching us, right? You've probably heard the same thing. Again, once you have this in your head for all of these years, it's really hard to just immediately go to something else, you know? So when this happened, when this accident happened when I was 40, I knew that I had to do something. So I really started a deep dive studying on the really, really wealthy people and what they do, and it was totally opposite what I've been taught. So this is more the millionaire next door sort of thing. You know, work your whole life, buy used cars, hardly ever vacation, never eat out. I mean, you think about it. If you're supposed to work for 40 years, and let's say you're 65 or 70, the average lifespan is what, like 77 or 80. So you only have like another 10 years or less to enjoy your life. You know, looking at it now, what I know now, now that I know what I know now, looking at it, it's like, this is crazy that I would have even thought about doing this. This is crazy that we've been taught this, because I mean, literally everything that I've been taught was pretty much live frugally, pretty much live poor to die rich, maybe to try. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm not going to want to do all this activity and travel and all this stuff when I'm 70 or 80 versus when I was 30. Things change. You get old, your body breaks down, that sort of thing. Okay. So when I started to question all of this, once I started to look at what wealthy people do and how they operate, they don't operate like this. They operate from a standpoint as they know the most important thing is something that we cannot make more of, and that's time. We can always make more money, right? We can always make more money. And that is what, whenever you want to make more money, what do you have to do? Well, what are we taught to do? Well, we have to, in my field, we have to see more patients. Depending on what field you're in, you may have to see more patients, customers, work more hours, work more shifts, maybe work weekends. But it all boils down to this. If you're in this type of situation and you want to make more money, you have to trade more time for money, right? And what did I just tell you about time? You can't get back your time, right? And this is what the wealthy people understand, this concept that time is more important than money. We're not taught this. We're not even taught anything about time. We're just taught that you got to work a long time to get money. And literally everything that I was reading about wealthy people, it literally flipped this script on its head. Everything was like backwards, kind of like I used to play golf. And everything that I used to do that I thought was right, once I started learning about it, it was totally opposite. I'm thinking you have to swing hard and tighten all your muscles. And it's like, no, you swing easy and everything is just loose like spaghetti. I'm like, how does that make sense? It's totally the opposite of what you think. So everything that I was starting to learn, when I was 40 was totally opposite. And again, this has been ingrained in my head so much that the only way to wealth was the 401k, and you just wait it out. And the stock market's going to go up, going to go down, going to go up, and then hopefully whenever we retire, it's up here. But they never talk anything about time or taxes or anything that I was learning down here. So because the time, so the main thing, the main shift that taught me how to become successful, how to literally open up the door to riches is this concept. It's a mindset shift. It's not that you have to work harder. It's not that you have to get more jobs. It's that you have to just think differently about money in your situation. I mean, you could probably Google or go to YouTube and search for money or rich mindset or whatever. There's all types of different variations. I just wanted to teach you what I've experienced and how I've changed. So when I went from this to started learning about this, then I realized, okay, well, then if time is my most important factor, what do I have to do? Well, what they do is they focus on buying cash flowing assets that literally just pay for their liabilities. And you may say, well, you may be thinking, what's an asset? What's a liability? Well, it's very easy. An asset puts money in your pocket, and a liability takes money out of your pocket. So literally your bills, your mortgage, your car payments, your vacations, whatever. You get an asset to pay for your liability. Well, what is this going to do? What does this inevitably do? Well, it frees up your time because they understand that time is the most important aspect. So up here, if you wanted to do more, if you wanted to have a car, a boat, a side by side, take vacation with your family, go to experiences, whatever, then the person you had to trade time for money, right? You're the one that basically has to do that. So up until this point of me learning this, I'd never taken off like 7 days. Like within, it took me probably 15 years of practice before I actually took off 7 days in a row, because it wasn't that I couldn't afford, typically the vacation that we would go on. We wouldn't go on these super exotic vacations, but you go on the typical $5,000 to $7,000, maybe the occasional $10,000 snow skiing vacation. It wasn't that I couldn't actually pay for that. It was the time away from the practice, because you still had to pay the employees, you still had to pay the bills, you still had to pay the overhead, whatever. So in essence, what this made me realize, what I was only relying on one source of income to pay everything. But what these cats realized was they have all different types of of income coming in from businesses, so from they have real estate, cash flowing real estate, that's giving them money. They're buying cash flowing businesses. And the more that I started getting around these people and getting away from just going to dental meetings. So here's the really sad thing that a lot of us do, and I'm not just picking on dentists. Depending on whatever industry or career that you're in, more than likely you probably go to those types of meetings. So if you're an engineer, you're probably going to engineering meetings. If you're a plumber, maybe you're going to plumbing conventions, whatever. So for the first 15 years, I was going to all these dental meetings, and we had to go to these meetings every year because we had to get continuing education, right? So you go to continuing education and you're around all of these people there, other dentists for me, that were there just because they had to be there. They didn't want to be there. Now you had maybe one or two people in the front row, taking notes. They were so excited about it. But for the most part, they were there because they had to be there. So when I was, just thinking about for the first 15 years of my practice, I was surrounding myself, my network were people that for the most part, they really didn't want to grow. They just wanted to get their continuing education points or hours or whatever, and then get back to their house. Yeah, maybe they want to learn about, one or two new things or whatever. But for the most part, that was the general consensus. Once I got out of that type of, I still occasionally go to dental meetings, but now I have shifted my network into people that want this. They understand how important it is. So they're always looking for ways to buy back their time, like the Dan Martell book, Buy Back Their Time. Once you get away from people in this group, this circle of influence, to this group, that is when the change happens. Because you're just around people that are just excited. You're going to network with people. I've grown leaps and bounds from just connections. So I can't tell you how many stories of, if I wasn't in this group, or I didn't go to this meeting, or I wasn't in this mastermind, I would have never met this person who knew this person, and now we're buying mobile home parks together, and now we've got 11 RV parks together. It all has to be, it's all because of this. Because like I mentioned before, that one shift, that one mindset shift of thinking differently, that got me out of this mindset into the wealthy mindset. And once you move from here, once you change your surroundings, I'm telling you, it's just amazing. It is. I really wish somebody could go back, like in high school or college. I've got two teenagers, so I'm constantly teaching them about this, exposing them to this, and whether they want to do it or not, I can't force them to do it. That's their life. But at least they've had the choice. I did not have the choice. Maybe this is the first time you've ever heard something like this. So now you have a choice. If you want to continue down the current path that you're on, that's fine. But if you don't, and you want to go down the path of real wealth, which is your time. It's not just making money just to buy stuff. It's making money it's making money from different sources to buy back your time, so that you could literally go do anything that you want. Meaning, if you want to stay in your current career, work is optional to you. If you want to go travel, if you want to go, start a soup kitchen, if you want to help, it just completely frees you up. You don't have to get up. You don't have to go to work unless you want to. And that, my friends, is the ultimate goal in life, is to basically do things what you want, when you want, with whomever you want. And that is the mindset shift to make it happen. Now, if this information helped you, do me a favor, like it and share it to somebody. Think about at least one person that you know in your surroundings. Maybe it could be a family, friend, colleague, or whatever, that needs to hear this. Share it. I would really appreciate it. Take care.